He died. He was too close, apparently, from here to the explosion. Wow. It's fucked up, bro.
I'm ready.
Oh, you're right. Pain block. I keep forgetting about that. What level is it? I keep forgetting. Yeah, no, I didn't have enough points at the time. I don't think. He needs a lot of point right at the start. I mean, now I could do it, but I'm gonna do disintegration. Dude, it makes them melt.
Yeah?
Disintegration is really good.
Lay low.
I mean, these enemies are low level,
Sure.
but still. Cell key. Oh, that would have been to open the other thing. Okay. So in case I would not have been able to open it with mechanics, I could have opened it with this. Sounds fair. Okay, is the devil in there? Galvino, an elderly man, hunches over a cluttered desk in the back of the workshop. His flesh is pulled tightly around thin, fragile-looking bones, except around his neck where it hangs in loose waddles. He turns as you enter, a scowl already chiseled into his lined face.
Back again? I told you.
He hesitates, squinting at you from behind smudged and dusty spectacles.
Of course, a fresh fool to replace the last fools. What brings you stomping through my workshop, eh?
He draws his words out, looking you up and down. A sneer creeps across his face. I got a question about Durgan's battery in the White Forge.
Straight to business, no nonsense. We appreciate that, don't we?
He turns to the bronze golem over his shoulder.
Anything for a breather from your endless yammering.
The voice echoes from within the golem. That's the devil? Aye, I've got a fancy for this and already.
Hear that, Timora? Another who would tolerate your barbs and insults.
Wait, say nothing? Anyhow.
But you come seeking the White Forge, like they all do. Boys with smooth cheeks and wild dreams. Girls with bright ribbons tied next to their scabbards.
His voice rises and falls with a sing-song of mockery.
Old men and women, too, seeking a final blaze of glory before they're snuffed out for another turn at the wheel. Sound familiar?
His smile is rigid as he looks at you, and the corner of his eyes twitches. That's a lot of bitterness. Maybe I should ask you the same thing.
Save your breath.
He hawks a wad of phlegm from the back of his throat and spits into the corner. Ugh.
I have this conversation with every pig-headed swashbuckler those Postenagos and stalwarts send here. Go see Galvino, they say. Surely he'll help you.
Must have slipped their minds what a busy and important fellow you are.
In the silence that follows, the temperature in the room seems to drop. Galvino glares at her.
They should have let them stone you. Would have silenced your endless rattling forever.
The hanging folds of skin beneath his neck tremble. Like a turkey.
Then you'd have naught but those frostbitten inbreds for company.
I guess that's what it'd be like if Alet and Isilmir were two separate people. Come now, I sound nothing like either of them. You're upset. There's an old wound with Stalwart then.
The spiteful imbeciles destroyed my career, ruined years of work. But let us focus on the reason for your visit, yes? The villagers and their adventurers hammer and pry at the battery as if they were laying siege to some moldering lord's keep.
He swats the air in front of his face.
But those stones were laid by some of the finest builders ever to have lived. Disciples of Abidan in the truest sense. They will not fall by the whims of any kith. And the door itself, it is infused with living essence.
He holds his hands before him and his eyes are wide with wonder. The dwarves themselves must have had a way of getting in.
Perfetto! This is the crux of the matter.
He claps his hands together.
The Pargrunen of Durgan's battery perished within their own keep, victims of a violent disagreement among their own commandants.
His mouth twists into a wicked grin.
Surely in the village you have heard stories, no? Disappearing caravans, tracks in the snow, screams from the high towers.
He pauses, watching your expression with a raconteur's glee.
The work of spirits still trapped in the battery, and a testament to those impenetrable walls.
He raps on the mortared stone of his own home.
But the door of the keep, the one the Pargrunen filled with essence, it was made to listen, to recognize its masters.
Go on.
Traditional Aptapo cultures revolved around language. Words revealed who they were and where they were from.
Wait, so is this like speak friend and enter? Like I just go to the door, I say Mellum, and then just the door will open? Is that how this works?
That is why you need a Kantek.
He holds up a twitching finger. What's a Kantek?
Some liken it to a poem, others to an anthem. In reality, it is more than either.
He holds one hand, turning it this way and that in a balancing motion.
A Kantek is a statement of purpose, a declaration of identity. Each is unique to its stronghold.
Ha! Seal your door with a key of words, and any liar can talk this way through. There's nothing built of words that won't break when the slightest stress is applied.
Thus, to enter a fortress like Durgan's battery, you would stand at the gate and recite its Kantek.
He spreads his arms, his face aglow. What an incredible tradition.
Verus! A shame the Postonagos here cannot appreciate such elegance. To learn the Kantek, you must speak with one of the dwarves of Durgan's battery. A shame they are all dead, no?
He rubs his hands together, pacing.
But no doubt their souls live on in one or two of the villagers of Stalwart. Like fine wine poured into a cheap pot.
Derision curls his lips.
But to identify them, that is the first problem. You would need the skills of an animancer.
He wags a finger at the ceiling. I'm a watcher. The golem swivels her head sharply toward you, her mask of a face, and the glass eyes behind it betray no emotion, but it seems as if she's watching you carefully.
A watcher? The Verus? If this is true, then you could find a sole descendant from Durgan's battery, no question. But the greater difficulty remains.
Galvino rubs his gaunt, whiskered cheeks.
You would have to learn the Kantek from the dormant soul. And to do that, you would have to awaken it.
But his awakening would be permanent, wouldn't it?
Oh, yes. Whoever you awaken will live with the memories and the personality of a past life. Maybe peacefully, maybe not.
His bony shoulders rise in a shrug.
That is why you must pay attention to the soul you would awaken, no? It is a monumental thing to impose on another, but these are the very people who wish to rediscover the White Forge, Verus.
He removes his spectacles and polishes the dirty lenses with his tunics. So the Kantek is all I need.
Who can say? None have yet opened Durgan's battery.
Galvino raises his hands, palms up.
But the ones that came before you, I think they got close. You may wish to find them and see what they discovered.
Where would they be?
I have not seen them since they first came to see me several weeks ago. But word has reached my ears that they crossed an ogre matron.
Awaken someone. How would I do that?
An awakening is merely the jolting of a dormant soul into consciousness.
He makes a bursting motion with his hands, playing his fingers wide.
When such things happen normally, it is because something has reminded the subject of a past life, often violently so.
He smacks his workbench with surprising vigor. Alot flinches.
Thus, to awaken one of the former dwarves of Durgan's battery, you will need to address that soul, and preferably by name.
He folds his hands together, steepling his fingers.
But show some care. When you examine these souls, whatever it is you watchers do, you may see images, memories.
He leans forward, his back hunched.
These are moments of special import. What you see will tell you much about the person, and perhaps the condition in which they awaken.
He raises his hoary eyebrows and tilts his head back.
Awaken them from a traumatic memory, and who knows? Maybe they awaken thirsty for blood. Or maybe you awaken someone else.
Okay, that's super creepy. You mustn't do this, to condemn another to a fate like Merwald's. He shakes his head.
Here, this has been tuned to the Aeon of Durgan's battery. Use it near the villagers, and it should tell you if one has a soul old enough to have come from the battery.
He rummages around and produces an unfamiliar device. I see. Thank you for your help. He dismisses the thought with a wave of a hand.
It is a pleasure to have such a courteous guest for a change. A shame you must dirty your boots in Stalwart.
I'm going with her.
The Golem looks between you, her neck turning on its oiled joint.
You? Go to Stalwart? Is this your macabre sense of humor, or has something gone to rust in that beautiful head I crafted?
Galvino stares at her agape.
No one will bother me while I'm with her. Besides, I can help her find people in Stalwart.
The Golem burnished face is eerily impassive.
You haven't been to Stalwart in 13 years. And this watcher sees souls. What help could you be? Besides, I have need of you here. You owe whatever remains of your wicked life to me.
A frown sours on his lips as he taps his chest with a crooked finger. The Golem says nothing, but her essence smolders. Resentment rises from her in shimmering waves. The swivels her head to look at you. She swivels her head. I'd like her to travel with me.
Quay? No. You don't know what you ask.
He shakes his head, waving his hands.
This woman, the Devil of Carrick, she was a notorious murderer. Burned people alive all over the region. Besides, she works for me. After all, I am the one who preserved her.
He straightens his back and looks you up and down, taking your measure. I'll pay you.
Listen, Aimika. If you're set on traveling with her, I won't stop you. But let's make this a fair exchange, yes?
Deal.
Fine price for a blacksmith striker. Suppose I should be flattered.
And there you have it, a bargain.
She's a rogue! She's a rogue character! Oh, that's cool. Sadly, we don't need her. Yeah, we don't need her. Unfortunately. But it's pretty cool. And there you have it, a bargain. Yeah, it's pretty cheap.
A moment. You are going back to Stalwart, yes? Perhaps you could do me a favor.
What's up?
There is a man in the village named Grinde, the head fisherman.
That's the quest with the fisherman. He weaves his fingers together.
The rest of Stalwart kisses his feet because he fills their stinking blades with speckleback. But I know he's not as virtuous as he seems.
His face crinkles in vicious glee. What exactly do you want me to do to him?
Humiliate him, of course. Show his neighbors what he truly is. And let him live with the disgrace.
He points vaguely in the direction of the village, his thin arm trembling.
He's always been a ripple sponge addict. Just got good at hiding it once his sainted sister died and left him in charge of the fishery. But he keeps a stash in the fishery, sneaks in at night when the others have gone home, and emerges sluggish and red-eyed a few hours later. I want you to expose him. Go to the fishery after dark when it's empty. Find his ripple sponge and show it to Renengild.
Seems like you have a history with Grinde.
That self-righteous meddler engineered my eviction from the village. He turned them all against me. Now I want him to feel the scorn of those mush-brained imbeciles. Do not answer me now, but when you return to that festering eyesore and smell the stink of fish that hangs in the air, consider what I've said.
He grins.
Besides, you appreciate a good joke, don't you? De Verus, this will be a great one.
Yes, knowing how late you get her, I hate switching up my party late in the game. Yeah, no, I totally understand. This is too bad, because it would have been super interesting, but it's way, way, way too late.
But be sure to approach the fishery by night, when it's empty. They will give you no end of trouble if they see you stealing during the day.
I wanted to know more about the expeditioners who came to you before.
As would I, but there is little to tell. They never gave their names.
He tugs at his whiskers.
But they seem to know more about the battery than the others, which is unusual because they did not seem like typical adventurers.
He raises his snowy eyebrows.
Their hands were smooth and marked with ink, not scars, and they traveled light. Unusually so.
He rubs at his chin. Unusual indeed. What do you suppose they were looking for?
Val himself could not have said, and I haven't the time to concern myself with the business of strangers. Something else? Quay.
What were those constructs I encountered in your workshop?
Other projects, they are none of your concern.
He waves a hand and looks quickly away from you. Other projects like the Devil of Karak. He mutters furiously under his breath, raising his hand to the ceiling.
For years I've been trying to create another like the Devil of Karak. Yet those post-Enagos in Star-Wars destroyed my machinery.
His drooping skin trembles in his rage.
Now, I can only create these broken, mindless things. The Devil remains my most perfect creation.
His lips twist with a taste of something bitter. But where have you found the souls to create these other golems?
Smugglers, slavers, fugitives. The kind of riffraff that pass this way. Rarely missed, and good work to keep my little devil busy.
Why do you need more golems?
I can't present the Devil of Karak to the academies, can I? A mad woman and a murderer? No. I need to bring a success to the Republics.
He rubs his hands together, frowning. It's fine. No, it's good. Let's explore this place, though.
Good thing I sold most of my jewelry.
Oh, it's not even stealing. He doesn't even mind. Oh! Hey, get out of there. This is not the stealing icon. What are you talking about? This appears to be a crude rendering of the mountains surrounding Durgan's battery. What do you think you're doing? Just stuff. Let's go here. Also, I believe there's a trap at some point, isn't there? That one.
Hey.
Pretty good. Wow. Hey, you did it, guys. Nobody triggered the trap. Impressive. Super impressive. Man, that was like supposed to be a small detour. And that was like, what, an hour of exploration? That's kind of crazy. Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Sure.
Right. I know, we're barely touched the map. Look at how much exploration we still need to do. This entire place here, this entire spot here. I'm happy. That makes me super happy. There's nothing there, right? No. There's only, however, there's only these 3 zones, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Ericlus, but that's it. For this first part of the expansion. For like the part 1. The zones are massive, so I don't mind. I'm just saying. Terragar? Hello there. Always good to see more kit on the road. You can relax for the time being. Ain't got to hear will let me know if any ogres come up on us. Ought to be heading down the mountain soon, but I've still got some supplies if you need anything. Who are you? Name's Terragar. I come up to Stalwart sometimes to trade. Nothing fancy like Iduran as, just supplies and ingredients. Came out here to get some fresh air after the raid. Never been much of one for towns. Which way to Durgan's Battery? I know where it is. You're one of those, huh? Just follow the road north and then west across the bridge. You'll know it when you see it. Have a care. Lagafath moved into the area not long ago and they've already made short work of a few caravans. Do you know anything about the bandits in this area? Sure do. Most of the caravans have to take the one road down into the pass. Group of bandits set up shop just north of here, before the bend. They'll just take a toll on good days. Your head most others. I keep clear of them myself, and they don't usually come down the mountain. What do you have for sale? Let's take one of these. I don't believe... Oh, there's a few things we can sell. What is that? That's a rapier. Cool. 66,000. We're so freaking rich, it's kind of crazy.
And what does the flame reveal?
Okay, gotcha, Ericlus. Yeah, cool. Alright, let's get down there. Dude, I love exploration in these maps. The map seems so well crafted compared to the maps from the original. Seems like, since there were fewer maps, they really made them into super interesting zones. No, don't attack me! But... No! I'm Canadian! I'm your friends, guys! What are you doing? Oh, that's rude. Rigalopes. Yeah, pretty much.
Sure.
Why, though? They just became aggressive out of nowhere. Do I smell that bad?
Something you don't see every day.
Oh. Ah, a ring of protection. Cool. That's a cool exit. The stairs like that. It's pretty neat. But I mean, good news is we'll be able to soon get to the battery. I'll have to go back in town though, I guess, because we need to get the soul from the guy, the thing. Help? Somebody help me? Help, please, I'm down here. Sitting on a narrow outcropping far below the edge of the chasm, a villager waves his arms frantically. The villager is well out of reach, and the uneven slick surface of the chasm would prove difficult to climb by hand. Tie a rope around... Is it athletics, you think? It's either athletics or mechanics. I assume it would be athletics. That would make sense to me. Let's do athletics. Eder. Eder has a solid grasp of knots and steps forward to secure the line with a sturdy knot. The trapped man presses himself against the chasm wall. Please hurry, the ice is starting to crack. Looking down, Eder can see another smaller ledge further up along the side of the chasm. It is close enough to jump to, but it may not be able to support much weight. Jump down to the nearest ledge. Eder leaps into the chasm. Eder lands hard, and the snow-covered outcropping shifts dangerously underfoot, but holds. I was right. Yeah, it's athletics. On the ledge, Eder has a moment to survey the surroundings. The trapped villager is almost directly below, his frightened face turned up to watch Eder progress. Examine the area. Eder takes a moment to look around. Several sections of the wall below appear to be comprised of sheets of ice, like windows set into the side of the chasm. The thin ice is pucked through with air bubble, and moving too quickly across the surface could cause it to shatter. Anxious, the villager calls up, "Please help me." Rappel continue the descent. Eder continues carefully down the chasm. I don't think he'll hold much longer. There's a faint clattering sound and a sharp cry. Glancing down, Eder sees that the man has slipped, only to grab a hold of the rocky wall just in time to stabilize himself. As Eder passes the fragile section of ice, the wind begins to pick up. The freezing gusts tug fiercely at Eder's clothing, howling past. Nearby there's a narrow hollow in the wall of the cavern that could provide some shelter until the wind died down again. I'm afraid that if I don't continue, he's gonna fall. Press on. Unfazed by the freezing wind, Eder continues the descent. At last, Eder comes to within arm's reach of the trapped villager and extends a hand towards him. When Eder's hand is mere inches away, the outcropping beneath the trapped man's feet suddenly shudders and gives way, and he starts to fall. Dive after him. Eder drops down towards the falling man and reaches him just in time. The rope around Eder's waist brings both parties to a painful stop. Passenger in tow, Eder begins the ascent. Eder makes steady progress back up the side of the chasm, the rescued villager clinging on tightly. At last, he reaches the top and climbs back over the side to safety. Whew! Man, that was intense. Thank you. I've been down there for so long. I thought I was done for.